now we are joined from Paris by Mr. Majid Bouden, the international law professor. Welcome, Doctor, to our program in focus. Dr. Bouden. Belgium's foreign minister announced his country will recognize a Palestinian state at the UN, citing the humanitarian tragedy in Gaza. How significant is this step in shifting Europe's approach to the Palestinian cause, sir?
Well, Belgium now is moving like other European countries after Spain, Norway, Ireland, and then the major countries like France and the UK and Canada, Australia, and now Belgium is announcing it to recognize the Palestinian state. It's a major step. We have to remember that Belgium is the center of the headquarters of the European Union, so it has a lot of influence. And we understand that in international policy, geography is important. So Brussels, when it recognizes the Palestinian state, it means that there will be a flow, it will be a dynamics within the capital of the European Union, and it's important. Then it's enlarging the number of states within the European Union towards the recognition of the Palestinian state. So there is a process, and despite what the government of Netanyahu is doing, the European countries are not stopping their process. So and it's also despite this project of turning Gaza
into a Rivera, sir. But at the end of the day, you mentioned now, Dr. Bouden, that Belgium is the center of the center headquarter of the European Union, which is a very important, pivotal country, of course, in the European Union in this context and what you say now. However, Belgium has announced conditions for supporting the Palestinian state, which is, sir, that Hamas should release all Israeli detainees and no longer govern Palestinian territories, and also will introduce firm sanctions against Israel, including banning imports from illegal settlements and reviewing contracts with Israeli companies. So adding its vote and being with Israel in this genocide and atrocity, sir, is conditional, not unconditional. How do you read this?
These conditions are important as conditions, but the fact that Belgium will recognize the Palestinian state is the most important method to look at this time. Of course, Hamas must understand now that they are playing their own future and they don't think about the Palestinian people future, and they have to bear their responsibility. The International Criminal Court has issued arrest warrants against Hamas leaders, like against Netanyahu and Gallant. So it means that Hamas has a responsibility on the 7th.
Do you think, sir, that Hamas will cooperate with this move and will give up, sir, the detainees? Or do you think that Hamas will stay conditional and will put its own conditions, as always, as in every single negotiation that takes place between Israel, of course, and the United States and
yes.
Hamas, or Hamas and Qatar and Egypt, to mediate and to reach a consensus for the sake of the Palestinian people, of course, who are dying every single day. 83% of them are children and women, sir, and on purpose.
Hamas is giving a lot of pretexts and a lot of unacceptable reasons for Netanyahu to continue these attacks against the Palestinian civil population. So Hamas must understand that they must now get out of the scene, of the political scene. They have to bear their responsibilities, and they have to release the hostages, and to not give any reason for Netanyahu to continue to
displace Palestinians and do the atrocities and genocide. Sir, Trump warned Israel is losing the world of public opinion and no longer has the grip on Congress it once enjoyed. What does this erosion of U.S. consensus mean, and what does this mean coming from U.S. President Donald Trump, sir?
It's a very important matter. He, the president of the superpower, the U.S., but Donald Trump has not the same interests than Netanyahu. He is supporting Netanyahu, but to a certain extent and to certain limits. And Netanyahu is pushing very far, and Donald Trump will not be taken by Netanyahu. So he's pulling back, and he will see the interest, his own interest as a president, as a personal interest also, and also the interests of the United States, which are not the interests of Israel, because the United States has no reason to have 62,000 people killed and around 200,000 wounded and homeless and all this what we have seen in Gaza and he will not be part of this genocide or co-responsible. We can say it's better late than never. So it's late, but it's...
So do you read, sir, from your own narrative that U.S. President Donald Trump, when he made this statement, he is doing this statement, it's not a double standard statement, but a statement in favor of Gaza, because he can see now what's happening in reality, and that not like he said in the past that he wants to turn the Gaza Strip into a Rivera, sir, and he's changing now? Or is there any doubts that there are double standards in what's said? Because sometimes we're with Israel and we're backing Israel, and we are the United States gives Israel the military aid, and now this is what it said, that it's winning militarily but losing on the ground. Of course, it's losing a lot, because internationally it's widespread now that no one is stopped talking about what's happening, and everybody is seriously against what's happening. Even the EU countries are starting to be indulged.
Indeed, the proposal of Donald Trump to turn Gaza to a Riviera, it's more probable than not that it is a bargaining instrument. Donald Trump knows that it will not happen. No investor in the world will invest and will build on blood, built on depossession.
Okay, sirs, Belgium's recognition move and the Rivera leak both highlight Israel's growing isolation. Do you expect more European nations to accelerate recognition of Palestine as a form of political pressure?
Of course, I mean, the European Union, they are coordinating. All the states are coordinating, and they are coming. The coordination is in the pipe, and we will see more countries coming to this. We will see Italy coming to recognize the Palestinian state. We'll see other countries. So there is a process, there is and there's a move, and it will continue.
Sir, why did you mention Italy specifically?
Because it's a very important country in the Mediterranean. It has links with all the Mediterranean countries, with the Arab countries, with the Palestinians. It has a history, even though it is governed now by a extreme right government. But the president of the Council of Ministers and the chief of government of Italy, she is pragmatic.
Okay, sir, more than 140 UN member states already recognize Palestine, with major Western countries joining. Could this push transform recognition into a political reality rather than a symbolic gesture?
Oh, it's already not only symbolic. It went far from being only symbolic. Now it's putting pressure on the Security Council to accept the Palestinian state, and there is other possibilities. Nobody can exclude the Palestinians from the world arena as a state. So this will be coming, and in a certain period of time, the United States of America will recognize the Palestinian state.
Sir, Belgium conditioned recognition partly on the release of Israeli detainees and Hamas, which we discussed at the beginning of the episode of the interview, being excluded from governance. How might these conditions complicate the path to full recognition of Palestine, sir?
Well, it's this conditions it can be understood. We have to see from where the European countries are coming, with when they have under their soil and with their governments at the time they have a responsibility in the Holocaust. So it was very difficult for the Europeans to understand, to change, but the population has changed, because when even if they feel responsible of the genocide of the Jews in the Second World War and before, during the history for centuries, they cannot accept that the Palestinians today will be massacred in this way and will be subject of an incredible genocide. So this move, it's coming from the public opinion, and now the governments, they know that they will be facing elections and they have to comply with the requests of their populations, and they are coming to that. They put these conditions. We remember that France has put these conditions too, and other countries too, and they started to lift it, because it doesn't mean that the condition is more important than the fact itself of the recognition. So the recognition will come. Now it's up to Hamas also to make a move to relieve these hostages, to free the leadership for the Palestinian people, to let the Palestinians design other leaders, and to let the Palestinian state obtain the right to have a Palestinian state. Hamas is now an obstacle to the Palestinian state. But if Hamas will not do it, it will be obliged to do it. This is the will of the international community, because the international community, and first of all of the Palestinian population, the Palestinian people, they don't want to be sacrificed for the interest of Hamas, and they will not sacrificed by Hamas, because Hamas is giving these pretexts to Netanyahu to continue this slaughtering of the Palestinian population. So this is a very important matter, and the Palestinian people and the Arab community, the Middle East community in total, the Mediterranean community, the international community, they want now to move ahead and to recognize the Palestinian state, not for the sake of recognizing the Palestinian state as it is only, but to establish peace and to get out from this responsibility, which is huge, because nobody can be or would like to be co-responsible of this genocide.